checks. What's going on, everybody? It is me, Tricky Ricky, and Tony. Uh, well,
Powered by Riverside.
and he's not here yet. Yeah, no, he's finishing the tour right now. He's told me he's on the way up to this booth. I wanted to start recording this show so we can see him enter in and just have to go right into game mode right off the bat. This should be interesting. It's a big day today, National Signing Day in college football. Apparently, it's National Signing Day in professional baseball. That is, if you're the New York Mets. Carlos Correa, he was a Giant, but now he's a Met. Giants paid him a bunch of money. He did a physical. They were a little Then all of a sudden, he's a Met. I don't know how it works. I don't know how that happens, but it did. And that's where we are today. I'm an Alabama Crimson Tide fan. They're making a lot of moves. We're bringing in this guy, coming in fresh, both wearing our matching jackets. We're looking good today, man. Get that headset plugged in here. You were moving and grooving, showing people the friendly confines of Toyota Field. How you doing, partner?
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Yeah,
I'm doing
good.
great. Obviously in such a hurry that left my computer and stuff downstairs, but I'm good.
Do you need to grab that?
No, I'm good.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I can look up whatever I need to on my phone.
Okay.
That's fine.
Welcome in, man.
Thanks, man.
It's a big day.
It's good to see you guys. Sorry we're a little late getting on today. Again, I had a ballpark tour showing some people around. I get them excited about coming out here at the Toyota Field, which you guys can still do, by the way, until January 2nd. We have our light show out there, a mile and a half of Christmas lights. You can drive through that bad boy, listen on the radio, and enjoy that. You know, I had someone tell me the other day, they were like, last year we did this, and I told them to turn the radio to the radio station, and they said no, they didn't want to do that. I'm like, how did you enjoy the light show if you didn't? And they're like, well, then we turned it on there this year, and we're like, oh, it goes with the light. I'm like,
Yeah.
way better experience.
I was blown away when a couple of high school kids drove by and were like, put it to 95.5 and the radio will sync with the lights. And they were like, what does that mean? What's a 95.5 on the radio? Do I plug it in?
Gosh.
They literally did not know how to tune the car radio. I was like, geez, man, I'm not 100 years old, but I feel like it now after seeing that number. So yeah, kiddos, if you're coming on out to the light show, do a little tutorial on how FM radios work, and you'll be pleasantly surprised with what you see and hear.
Are there any songs that you didn't know existed until you
that I didn't know existed
until you did the light show thing? Like, listened? Because there's I thought I knew all the Christmas songs, right? There are a lot of them the same old formula. People just covering a different Christmas song, where you have people like NSYNC and Mariah Carey and Ariana Grande who have their own Christmas songs. But there was one that I didn't know existed until I drove around Sprocket in the Polaris this year.
Yeah.
And the light show, and it was the Christmas with a capital C.
I knew you were going to say that one. I heard that for the first time last year.
That is an interesting song.
It's a jam, dude. It's if you want to keep the Christ in Christmas, that's your song.
Oh
there.
Man,
with a capital C, baby.
It's called.
They got a
Christmas.
DJ that busts in there too. He goes like, "What's going on? Who's ready for Christmas?" I'm like, "Where's that guy at?"
Christmas.
Yeah, like where do we have that guy stay? Is he out at the top of the tree over there by the snow globe? But yeah, they got an interesting mix over there.
Come enjoy that tonight, 5 to 9. Again, the inside is still open until Christmas Eve. The last day is Saturday on Christmas Eve. I'll be here tonight. I'll be here on Christmas Eve as well. So come check that out. I'll be manning the fire pits. We've got some movies we're playing on the video board tonight, starting around 6. We're playing Rudolph, Frosty, things like that. So come check that out.
All those classic Christmas hits.
Yeah, like the claymation Rudolph and Frosty the Snowman. So come check that out. Hang out with me. I think Ricky's done with the light show for a while. So
I'm done with the light show for the inside.
Lucky.
Yeah.
My last one is on Saturday. So I got my last two today and Saturday, and then I am done with the light show stuff. But you guys again have until January 2nd to come do the light show and until Christmas Eve to do the inside. In the meantime, we've got a ton that I wanted to discuss here on the podcast today. Number one, what I wanted to discuss now that it's been a few days since it was since the finale Monday, we tried to get the ratings for the World Cup, and we just didn't have them available because it had just happened the day before. I saw on Sports Media Watch today what the overall ratings were for that final on Fox, and this was on Fox and Telemundo, and it did not include streaming. Did not include streaming, which you would think those numbers are going to help too. 22.33 million.
Now put that in
average
comparison to like a Sunday night football game. Don't you get roughly like 14 million?
So I went and looked. I don't know about all of the Sunday night football games, but I went week by week to last year's football schedule, NFL schedule. I think it would have been the 19th most watched NFL game last year, the regular season. It got smoked by all the playoffs, regular season. It would have been the second most watched college football game last year. The only thing that would have beat it, and beat it by like 0.03. Like beat it by like 30,000 people, was the national championship game. Georgia, Alabama in the national championship game barely beat, and this was without streaming for the World Cup. So it was massive, having an average of almost 23 million people watching the World Cup final. However, it peaked at over 33 million, which is awesome. And that was, of course, when it got really, really good there at the end and then into extra time. But nothing comes close, doesn't even sniff the amount of people that were at the parade yesterday.
Yeah, that was a wild scene. I was watching videos last night of the World Cup parade in Argentina. What was it, like 5 million people?
In Buenos Aires.
It was insane.
In Buenos Aires, there were 5 million people roaming the streets to celebrate Argentina winning the World Cup.
Roaming everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I saw a drone view. I did not see land in any of it, unless it was a road.
It was so crazy. Like, it's supposed to be a 50-mile parade, and you get to the stage, and you, whoa, yeah, we're drunk, and we won. You know, that's what all the parades are. They were overcrowding everywhere. The players had to be, like, emergency med flighted out. They didn't get hurt.
Not med.
Like,
I don't know if it's a med flight.
But, like, the equivalent. Like, the helicopter had to come in and say, you know what, we got you. And they had to pull them up.
That is wild. That's how you know you've done a celebration parade the right way.
Right.
Like, we have to call in the National Guard to come rescue you from your current situation because it's become dangerous. That's how good this parade was. Remember that Los Angeles Rams Super Bowl parade?
Oh, yeah.
You could have drove a snowplow through the middle of town and picked up every single member of the team and drove them to their homes politely and abided by all of the traffic laws, and there had been no issue.
Because no one cared about that at all.
Yeah. The stage wasn't even packed. You could have just walked up on your lunch break and been a part of the LA Rams parade. If you wanted to be in the Argentina one, I think you had to probably plan 3 days in advance.
Probably could have got on stage at the Rams one. You probably could have pretended to be Cooper Kupp.
Put a jersey on. Yeah, I'm not backup linebacker. Yeah. Marshall Tucker.
Sorry, I was late. I was doing what everybody else in LA is doing, which is anything but this. Sorry.
Yeah. Far cry.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And I don't know if any of that happened yet. I haven't seen any like negativity towards it, but I can't imagine where there are 5 million people running around in the same area and no one got hurt or killed.
No, well, yeah, I mean, probably that happens just about anywhere, but so much happiness, man. The World Cup celebration's different, man. It's not like a Super Bowl. It's not like winning the gold medal in the basketball part of the Olympics.
Right.
Like this could go to anybody. Like when we win the gold medal in basketball, it's like we're supposed to. Argentina, yeah, they were the favorites going into it, but this was a crazy World Cup. They've been the favorites before. They've been a good team, but to actually win it, and the first time I think since like 1980 or something.
86.
86. I mean,
Maradona.
That's massive. Yeah, I mean, when you go back to the Maradona days,
36 years.
That guy, the video I saw of the parade, there was part of it was just a giant banner of Diego Maradona. So yeah, when you get to that level, the country, it's something else.
What would have to happen in the United States or for the United States that would cause a happy gathering of that many people? Because I'll tell you right now, that was the population of the state of Alabama was at that parade. There was over 5 million people there. The state of Alabama's population in 2021 was 5 million. That is the entire state. What would have to happen in the state of Alabama to get every person there?
That's a great question.
I mean, there's almost nothing.
They changed the name from the Hardys to Carl's Jr.
Jr.
That's gonna have people moving. They're gonna go, what? No, that ain't good enough.
Joe Biden could come out tomorrow or today and say, hey, tomorrow, guys, we're going to gather around. We're going to get into this central location. We'll give you a week to get here. And we're going to gather around this central location. And we're going to celebrate that this person right here standing right next to me cured cancer. We're going to celebrate that we cured cancer right here in the United States. We still couldn't get 5 million people there.
We probably wouldn't have 5 million for that one. I feel like if you did a parade where it's like, hey, welcome to free money giveaway day. We're just going to throw money in the air. And whoever has it can get it. You might get like 4 million.
Yeah, maybe.
And
it'd have to be a significant amount of money, too.
Hey, man, free money giveaway day downtown. You going? The traffic, I don't know.
By the way, people would die if you did
free money giveaway would be an absolute. It would be like when the White Sox did dime beer night and then all the fans got wasted and started lighting fires and throwing stuff on the field. It'd be very similar to that. Yeah. You couldn't do it.
And then when everything's getting worse and you're on life support trying to dig out of the crowd and you see a helicopter coming in, you're like, oh, it's here to save me. We're finally going to make it. And then it starts dropping more money into the sky.
Like, no, that's not what we need. No. That's fuel to the fire. So free money giveaway. Can't do that. We just cured cancer parade. That's going to get a lot of people. 5 million. That's every single person in the state of Alabama, huh?
Yeah.
Some people are going to be lazy. They're not showing up.
100%.
Maybe
they would take advantage of traffic being non-existent in the state of Alabama that day.
What would do it? Would have to be some sort of international conquest. Something we've never done before. Even if we won the World Cup, it'd probably look like a LA Rams parade. Yeah. How many people you think realistically we could get at a World Cup parade if the U.S. wins it in 2026? There'd be a lot of people. It'd be like a Super Bowl parade. It'd be like a champion parade. But it wouldn't be like a full country, let's party nonstop parade like in Argentina. I don't think you're sniffing 1 million people. No, please don't underestimate. Did you see how many people were into the U.S. team for the World Cup this year? Absolutely. If they actually competed and won it at a high level, there would be a million people. I don't think we get them in. I think it'd be something nice like 100, 200,000, something like that. That's a lot of people. I guess you're right. I mean, that would be tough to stuff 1 million people into one location. Exactly. I didn't know that something like that without a big body count. How big is Argentina? Possible. So the population of Buenos Aires is like the size. 15. Oh, that I don't know. Buenos Aires specifically, the population is 15 million, and they had 5 million there. They have literally a third of the people in that city out in the same spot. Bad with geography, man. I'm so bad that on our old radio show we used to talk about it. Someone came and brought me a globe. That's right. My guy Tom brought me a globe after that and said, "Hey, man, you should probably look at this." Is Brazil's real big? What's the size of Argentina? Argentina is 1.074 million square million miles. That does nothing for me. What does it look like in comparison? Well, I don't know what 1.074 square miles. Well, compared to Brazil, that's a third of Brazil. Okay, so a third of Brazil. Yeah. Was that like the southeast? Can you just show me a picture of Argentina? Right now. You see a square mile? I just told you I'm bad with a globe. That's Argentina. All right, Argentina got a pretty good size to it. Yeah, it's big. Well, Buenos Aires, really long. Well, Buenos Aires itself, has 15 million people. Well, if you did like New York City, what was that like? How many people are in New York City? Can you put that? I think we can understand that number. New York City population. For some reason, I feel like 8 million's the number, but I feel like it's higher. I don't know. 8.46. Oh, okay. That's a good guess. So you got 8 million in New York City. That's the population of New York altogether. It wouldn't be tough to get 5 million, man. It'd be tough to get 5 million for a parade. I think. How many people were at the? Oh God, I don't know if we could do it. You know what I think could do it, and it's something that I think we need as a country. We need this. It's time for the military academies in football to contend for national championships again. All right. No more running the wing tee. No more of the flex bone. Let's get an offense coordinator that can run the spread, and let's contend for championships again. You imagine if Army or Navy is a national champion in college football, everyone couldn't be like, hey, look, I'm an Alabama fan, but what am I going to not root against? What am I going to root against the Army, the U.S. Army? I'm not going to do that. That could reach a whole section of America. And
No. No shot. I'm not getting out of my house and going to a parade to watch Army win a national.
How long have you
'cause they won a
hated
championship.
America,
I love America,
pal?
and I'm going to watch on my TV. Ratings wise, would be massive.
I wouldn't fly to that parade either.
No shot. Mm-mm.
I wouldn't go anywhere for a parade if I had to travel.
I wouldn't.
Too far. If
Exactly.
Alabama won the national championship and said, we're having a parade in Washington, D.C., I'd be like, well, I guess I'll check out the video.
The Titans could win the Super Bowl this year. You think I'm going to Nashville for that parade? No,
You will.
I will not.
I think you would.
I won't.
You're a liar.
I won't.
You're a liar. Did you go to Atlanta for their parade? The
No.
Braves?
No.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
All right, maybe you're not a liar.
No.
I don't know if we can do it. I think we're too spread out.
Oh,
And I don't know what we could accomplish.
That's my thing.
That would be such a – because if we won the World Cup in soccer, like you're saying, do we even have enough soccer fans for people to care? We can't win a gold medal in basketball because we dominate there. World Baseball Classic, please. What would we have to win? What are we bad at internationally?
Is that also a testament to how good we think we are stacked up in other sports? Like if all of a sudden we were, playing the World Cup of American football, I mean, we expect to win that. We're not going to put 5 million people in a parade because we beat other countries in American football. We expect that. Basketball, we are constantly the best in basketball.
Yeah.
Don't care. I still don't think if we won a World Cup, we're getting even 1 million people at a parade. I don't think there's a sports accomplishment America could do to where we could get at least 1 million people to a parade, let alone 5 million people. I don't think it exists. That opportunity we do not care enough about curing cancer as much as Argentina cares about soccer.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer when you think about it.
Think about that. We could cure cancer. An American could cure a bald eagle could cure cancer tomorrow, and we wouldn't put 5 million people in a parade to celebrate that.
Let's pump the brakes. You kind of sold me on the Dr. Bald Eagle curing an illness, and maybe I'm traveling for that one. I'll trap.
Right.
Okay, so the only thing that's possible is if our national symbol of bald eagle somehow figures out the cure for cancer.
Yeah.
In America for Americans.
That's the only thing that we collectively.
But then the whole world's going to celebrate, really, because that's a human victory. It's not a U.S. victory, Yeah.
But that would be the only thing that us as Americans would care about more than Argentina cares about soccer. That's insane.
I'm telling you, man, Navy goes out there and starts running the spread and is scoring 52 points a game. You tell me the whole country doesn't get swept up in military football mania? I love that. I mean, I look back at all the record books and I look at like all those guys that played at like Army or Navy that won the Heisman Trophy or all these national championships. I'm like, man, that must have been a crazy time.
It would have been awesome. If that happens next year, I will watch every single one of their games, and it'd be great. But the second they win the championship and I get the email or the notification that says the naval parade is this day, I'm like, that's cool, man. And then I'm going to sit at home and watch it on TV. So.
Well, maybe you should just go ahead and get out.
Get your stuff.
Maybe you should just go ahead and get out. Man, I had someone make the argument to me. They're like, dude, Army and Navy don't have the athletes to field a spread offense. That's why they run that. Okay, it's a different. It's not like I'm like, oh, we can fight terrorists. We can't run 4 wide receivers. That's crazy.
Is that our argument?
We can go make rescues across the entire. We can fly a helicopter into a bunker and like take out a terrorist and rescue our team. And we can't run twin posts with with a mesh route underneath. You're telling me that's
is that?
I'll never say that our military can't run the spread. Never.
Is that our excuse if we ever lose? Like, do we have that excuse built up if America ever loses a war? Like, if we lose a war against another country, if we had our best athletes serve our country, then we would have won that.
ESPN will probably post that. They'd probably post that.
Go grab every athlete they normally would put on a World Cup roster and put them in just
They would probably
make them
somebody would do it.
Marines.
I'm telling you, man.
If LeBron James was a United States Marine.
Army, Navy, Alabama, Ohio State, that's a college football playoff that's going to get the country going. I mean, two heels in Alabama and Ohio State, Army and Navy, the baby faces. They go in there. They trounce the teams that everyone loved to hate. They go win a natty, maybe a joint parade, you know? Maybe they go, hey, look, you won the natty, but together, you know, we're all champions.
Yeah. On the other side of that coin,
It's not
though,
happening. No.
it's not. There's no way. On the other side of that parade argument, is there anything like anybody's sports accomplishments, like another country's sports accomplishments, that we would hate collectively as much as every other country would hate the United States winning the World Cup? Because that's the other side of this coin. Like, we would love it in 26 if the U.S. brought it home. But how universally hated we as Americans would be if we, as a country that's widely noted as really not caring about soccer all that much,
Not at all. We don't even call it the right name.
Won the World Cup. Oh, they would hate it.
I think other countries would stop playing. I think they'd start doing other stuff. Everyone would get really good at basketball all of a sudden, or I don't know.
Killing Mbappe would just become an accountant.
That would be the sole reason to go to a U.S. World Cup parade right there. Even if you don't care about soccer, just to rub it in the whole other world's face, like, we don't even care about this.
The biggest flex,
which will never happen. It won't happen.
The biggest flex
Not
would either
now.
to hold the parade and have it look like the Los Angeles Rams parade, and be like, we won this, we don't even care, or to go and then still act like we don't care and hold up signs of like the wrong sport.
Is
like
it even,
the Patriots rule.
Is it even better if we don't have a parade?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we won it, but I mean, we don't play again for another 4 years, so we'll celebrate sometime in between. No parade.
They'll take a White House visit.
No parade. We're gonna mail this around the country. You can go to your local grocery store. It's gonna be there from 2 to 5. We're gonna switch regional grocery stores every day for the next 4 months.
Yes, that would absolutely.
Take your picture with the World Cup trophy next to a stack of 12 packs of Pepsi. Yeah.
100%.
And a cardboard cutout of Alexi Lawless standing there.
That would absolutely be the best way to handle it.
Yeah.
Every country.
We're going on a grocery tour.
That might start World War III.
Probably
if the U.S. won the World Cup in 2026, that's going to start World War III. We care
allies.
about it so little.
Our allies be like, look, we were with you until you won the cup, and then, send it to the deli at a grocery store next to a stack of 12 packs.
The other big thing going on in sports today is National Signing Day. This isn't the official National Signing Day is in February, but this has become the unofficial National Signing Day because 80% of the scholarship offered players in 2023 are expected, if not have already signed, to their school. And it has been a heck of a signing day thus far. You've got Alabama, who's raked in and flipped commits before today, had them sign, and then we're able to pile some other dudes on top of that before the day was over. And A&M last year had the best recruiting class of all time. Alabama, points wise, is getting close.
And let me add a disclaimer to that statement. Numbers wise, had the best recruiting class of all time.
Alabama's composite score is getting close to that. Alabama's composite score right now is better than their class last year, which was the number 2 class in the country, which was also a heck of a class, which might have been the greatest class ever if A&M's didn't exist. So
technically,
that's the kind of numbers that Alabama is putting up. But with predictions that you and I have made over the last year in sports, I don't think there's a year where myself has been as wrong as I have been ever. I'll be honest.
I had some hits. I had some good ones, but they were mostly stinkers.
Yeah, I'll be honest. You said some stuff. All right. There were some things you said.
Yeah. Is this an intervention, by the way? I didn't know the show was going.
No. I'm just saying.
Going. I mean,
I'm just saying. Be happy about this class, but don't say anything crazy. That's all I'm saying.
All right.
Don't let it go to your head yet. You know what I mean? They're just freshmen. They're just freshmen.
Might have said the current Alabama football team was going to be the greatest team we've ever seen. Going to make the 2019 LSU, 2020 Alabama teams look like peons. That did not come to fruition as I thought it would.
Yeah, that did.
So I appreciate the advice. That's a good call. It's a good call. Class looks good though.
Mhm.
Class looks good.
Class looks really
you
good.
see that 6'8", 340 guy from Iowa? See that offensive tackle? Caden
Oh,
Proctor?
Ken Proctor, yeah.
He's an Iowa boy. That's a big boy.
Alabama's not the only one though that's had some good flips over the last couple of days. Auburn flipped a couple of dudes
Yeah.
today, and they've jumped in the top 20 in recruiting. And that was so. I did a tour at 1:30 here, so I've been out of the loop the last hour, but I've been paying attention to it all morning. Auburn had jumped into the top 20 in recruiting. Oregon was at like number 17 this morning, and they flipped Peyton Bowen, who was a Notre Dame commit, who was crystal balled to flip to Oklahoma. They ended up flipping him to Oregon, and then 10 minutes later ended up flipping DJ Uiagalelei's brother to Oregon as well, and then ended up getting a quarterback earlier this morning, like a big 4-star, and then ended up getting another guy. They are currently ranked. They flipped the guy from LSU as well. They are currently ranked. They went from 17 to number 7 in the country.
A lot of guys flipping today. It's almost scary if you have guys that are committed to your school today. You're like, is he going to try to pull a big moment here on us?
I would
like dudes are out there. Like one guy was committed to Notre Dame. I think it was the one that flipped to Oregon.
Peyton Bowen.
Yeah, and he's like goofing around with the Notre Dame hat, like, I've been committed to Oregon hat, and it's like, oh, what a way to just pull a fan base's heart out there. Like, not only did you not pick the school, you teased us with it.
Oklahoma fans were so upset about that one too because he was crystal balled to Oklahoma. He was supposed to flip to Oklahoma, and Oklahoma didn't even have a hat on the table. So it was rough. However,
that's got to be a rough scene. Yeah, you haven't even got the bad news yet. You're looking, and you're like, oh no.
Is he just gonna pull it out of a backpack? He's probably wearing a shirt.
He's probably that's what it is. Yeah. It's just dramatic effect. He's probably got a shirt on it. Oh no. Oh, nope. He put on that hat.
However, Oklahoma, that there wasn't anybody currently committed to Oklahoma that flipped. Actually, everybody that had already committed to Oklahoma signed.
Boomer.
Today. They signed 24 of their guys. They're ranked the number 8 recruiting class in the country right now. They were up to number 7 because after Peyton Bowen flipped to Oregon, Notre Dame dropped from number 5 to number 8. So Oklahoma went to 7, and then Oregon jumped to 7. So Oklahoma, last I saw, was sitting at number 8 with a very, very good recruiting class, very good balance across that recruiting class. Offensively, you got Jackson Arnold, a top 5 quarterback in the class, a bunch of guys, especially on the defensive end. That's the best collection of defensive talent in one class Oklahoma's had in a long time. So great move.
Hugh Freeze and Auburn, too, like you said, flipping some guys. I saw they flip one guy from Ohio State to Auburn. I mean, that's huge. You can get a guy. I mean, I wonder how Hugh's doing it. Sure, there's something there. But
they've
impressive, though, to take a guy from Ohio State and bring him to Auburn.
Oh, it's really, really impressive. They flipped the Florida State guy earlier in the day, too. That was another big one. Both good defensive recruits. So, big time. And the SEC is having a bunch of really good classes. Tennessee is a top 10 class, and I still think they're like 5th in the SEC. Because Alabama's 1, Georgia's 2, and Georgia just got 5-star edge, Damon Wilson. He picked Georgia over Ohio State and Alabama. So you got Alabama 1, Georgia 2. LSU was number 5. I don't know if there was another SEC team up there above them. And then Tennessee was number 4. So Tennessee's literally in the top 10 in recruiting in the country, and they're not even in the top 2, top 3 in their own conference. That's how important it is in the SEC. And another point, too, we talked about, you've been putting quotations about the Texas A&M recruiting class from last year. They've been brought back down to earth this year. They're at like number 16 right now or something. I have to go back and check. Earlier today, they were like number 16.
Doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, the whole program took a beating over the last year.
But remember when we talked about Texas and Oklahoma eventually going to join the SEC and why Texas A&M didn't want that to happen, why they were so upset?
Yeah.
Here's a good example as to why. Right now, Texas A&M has the number 14 recruiting class in the country, according to 247 Sports. Alabama's number 1, Georgia's 2, LSU is 6, Oklahoma 7. Let's see, Tennessee 10, Florida 12, Texas A&M at 14. Texas A&M is a top 15 class, and they are number 6 in their conference. If Oklahoma and Texas were in the SEC right now, Texas A&M has the 8th best class in the SEC because Oklahoma and Texas are both in the top 10. Texas has the number 4 overall recruiting class right now, and Oklahoma has the number 7. That's
until
why
Texas
it was so
A&M
important.
shows it on the field. They're going to have a hard time putting together big classes like they have the last few years. I mean, Jimbo. The only time you talk about him is when you're talking about a buyout. Would they go 5-7? I mean, they're not even
5
playing
and
in a
7.
bowl game. You don't even get all those extra practices for all the guys you got in last year and anybody that's early enrolling now. They are going to have a solid year to bring that back because it feels like you're being sold magic beans,
Yeah.
Come on over here. It'll be totally fine. Everything will be great. I mean, even the ROTC dance team guys that they took a beating this year.
The Yell leaders.
Yeah, the Yell leaders. God, I mean, just everybody on that football side of the program took a beating. So, not surprised. But it's hard to get too excited about recruiting day or signing day, especially now, because a lot of these guys, if they don't play early on, they might be somewhere else next year. They may never play a snap for that school.
That's very true. And we talked about that in steps the other day, like those first-year coaches that had bad years, Mario Cristobal, who's the other one besides Brent Venables had a really bad one, and Billy Napier. It's one like you had a bad year, so how do you kind of categorize and rebuild and build excitement? Number one is in recruiting, and they've all done a great job in recruiting right now. All of them are top 12. Florida's number 12. Now, after that, it's time to turn around and start putting the results on the field. So that's the next big step. But a lot of really fun, exciting things in the recruiting this year. So are we just going to, since some of our takes were so bad this year, we're just going to run them all back? All of our 2022 takes, we're just going to run them all back?
I could fire some bad ones off.
I didn't mean just to like reiterate them. Are we just going to predict them again for next year until they hit? Just run it back. Let's run it back.
No. I mean...
So you just want to double down and say Alabama did not 2022, but now 2023 is going to be the best
I thought
team.
that's what you're saying. Like you just want to double down and do them all again next year?
Yeah, is that what you want to do?
No. I got to change my ways. I'm an idiot. I let emotion trump reason in almost every facet of my life. I can't fix it. The highlight moment will always trump the smart decision, and I'm probably going to make more bad takes as the year progresses and as we go into a new year next year. I mean, Alabama's got an absolutely loaded recruiting class. I give it, if they win the Sugar Bowl, I'll probably have myself hyped on them winning the championship maybe a week or two afterwards. And then if Alabama basketball plays well, that's going to make the hype machine for football go even higher. And then once we get closer to the start of the year, I'm going to be watching Sean Alexander highlights. And then it's going to snowball into absolutely no reason, all emotion. So I'm thinking clear now, but I know later on I will lose my way.
What about the other ones? Let's see some other ones. It wasn't really a bad prediction. It's just not going to turn out to be right because he's having a good year, but there are guys having a better year right now. Tua, are you gonna go for a third year in a row? Vote him MVP next year?
I'm not.
He's not winning it this year.
I'm not signing off on that. All right. I still think Tua's got a shot. All right. Jalen Hurts, who I said he's not gonna win the MVP. Why'd you pick him? The current betting favorite.
By a long shot.
The former betting favorite, that is, because due to his sprained shoulder and the rumors going around here, Patrick Mahomes is now the favorite. Jalen Hurts is taking a second step there. So I might kind of be right on that pick, but he's still a great quarterback. I'm absolutely wrong about what I said. But Tua is the fifth favorite right now. Okay? Mahomes is ahead of him. Mahomes suffers from LeBron. Let me finish. I got a whole case. Go ahead. I got a whole case. Now, Patrick Mahomes is your favorite. He suffers from LeBron James disease, which is when you're so good at a sport, people take you for granted, and you don't win the MVP as much as you should because it's like he's just great. This is how it goes. We can give it to him every year if we wanted to, but we can't because I don't want this person to have 15 awards. Let's award other people.
And that's a good point. But currently with 3 weeks left, Patrick Mahomes is the betting favorite. So.
With a lot can change in 3 weeks. Recency bias, Tony Mack. Recency bias. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Patrick Mahomes minus 350 can be usurped by another quarterback at any time. Google that if you need to. Number 2, Jalen Hurts plus 550, sprained shoulder. Is he going to play? I don't know. Team's already 12-1, probably going to get rested at least 1 week at the end of the year. Maybe more. Maybe all of them if this injury is as bad as we think. I'm taking him out. Joe Burrow plus 600. Bengals are playing very well. He could go in there. But we haven't been talking about Joe Burrow all year, all right? Joe Burrow, the Flash, was last year. We love talking about him. We've kind of went silent on Joe because he hasn't had a stellar year, and we're not allowed to talk bad about Joe Burrow as far as TV goes. No one talks bad about Joe Burrow. They love him. So he's just kind of – he's cerebral. He ain't even doing nothing. We go to Josh Allen, plus 600. Yeah, he's really good. He's definitely an MVP type guy.
Oh, yeah.
But are the Bills going to drop a couple games down the way here? They're going to be playing in some rough conditions. Not perfect for MVP stuff because MVP is a numbers award. And that's when we get to our fifth favorite, Tua Tagovailoa, who, if he goes on a run these last few weeks and his offense is powered to do so, can make a run and win this thing in the last month of the season. You heard it here first. I'm not giving up on that take. And the fact that I said he could win the MVP and most of the world was saying this guy's a bum and he's not even going to have a starting job, already a victory. Take it away.
Want to hear my biggest complaint about how you're talking about Tua still having a shot?
Yes.
Pull back those odds up real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
When you said you made a case for all the ones above him to go away, which he is currently the fifth best odds to win the MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not even close. Go pull them back up. I got to read the
Just
odds. You gotta read
memorize
them.
it, okay?
Patrick Mahomes minus 350. Jalen Hurts is plus 550. Joe Burrow and Josh Allen have the same odds at plus 600. And then you go to Tua, who's not at plus 600. He's not at plus 1,000. He's not at plus 1,500. He's plus 15,000 to win the MVP. It's not even close. I actually looked at that and my mouth dropped when you brought that open because that is amazing value on Tua Tagovailoa.
So what you're telling me is
to win the MVP.
He's got a chance. Yeah.
It's a great value pick, yes. Joe Burrow's actually really good value too, plus 600 on a guy that has a realistic shot. You actually kind of talked me into Joe Burrow being able to win it.
You know, there was a football team last week that went down 33-0.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people would have said they have plus 15,000 odds of coming back and winning this game. You know who didn't say that? The Minnesota Vikings. And what'd they do? They scored 36 points in the second half and won that game.
You know who's on that offense that helped them score those amount of points?
Who?
Justin Jefferson. You want to know what his odds to win the MVP are?
Yeah.
The same as Tua's. So
does lightning strike twice?
Do you think Justin's going to win it? I don't think so.
Could. He's on pace to set the all-time receiving record.
That was just when it just set last year.
Doesn't matter when it's set, still a record, which I think is even more impressive. It's not even an old record; it's a new record. It's just beaten by today's standards, and now it can be beaten again.
Which is great. We made a top 10 wide receiver list in the offseason this past year, and I put Justin Jefferson in like my top 5. Justin Jefferson's a great wide receiver.
Might be the top 1.
Yeah, so I put him in my top 5 in the preseason.
Yeah, he's a great player. I think he's capable of winning an MVP too. I mean, that guy goes out and has a couple 200-yard games and puts up a bunch of touchdowns, sets the receiving record. These quarterbacks, they play in some snow. They don't do so well. Maybe Justin Jefferson sneaks in there and wins. I'm not ruling him out either, okay?
Okay.
I'm not doing it.
I will. I'll go ahead and rule him out then.
You don't know that. Who the Dolphins got this week? Who the Finns got?
The Packers, right?
They got the Packers in Miami on Christmas Day. Tua are going to be slinging presents all over the place there. Going to be beautiful weather. Which, by the way, I saw a quote from a meteorologist. He said this might be the worst week of NFL weather he's ever seen. Tua's playing in Miami. Major advantage. Joe Burrow playing in Miami? I don't think so. Next week, they go to the Patriots. The week after that,
we go. No, I want to talk about the weather on that day.
I already talked about it. Okay,
what's it look
then
like?
They finish the year in Miami against the Jets.
I want to go back to January 1st weather.
Yeah. New Year's in Boston. That's beautiful. That's the birthplace of America. Birthplace of America.
It's probably going to be very cold.
Tua loves America. He's lived in all different parts of America. Hawaii. Alabama, Florida.
Did you hear the guy ask him about snow last week?
Yeah.
And he was like, did you ever play in snow? Yeah, in Alabama, dude. He's like, believe it or not, it snows there.
It snows in Alabama.
It does. Not often, but
not,
it does.
Not much or often, but I've seen it. I've touched it.
Yeah.
It does happen.
It does. It does.
And just like the chance of snow in Alabama, it is low. But there is a chance. Frozone himself, Tua Tagovailoa. Put your money down. Put it down.
While we're talking about the NFL, by the way, it is now a good time to bring up the awful news we had this morning, the very sad news that we heard this morning, the passing of Franco Harris.
Yeah.
That came across today. 72 years old. Did you ever see the official cause? I didn't.
I didn't. I didn't even know what happened until I saw your tweet. Said he passed. I was like, wait, what? I heard out of nowhere. So I've got no information on it. It's just I had already known about all the festivities they had planned in Pittsburgh this week. I'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, man, Franco Harris, all-time great. Member of those legendary Pittsburgh Steeler teams. I didn't even, was he?
No cause of death.
Because I saw a tweet from a reporter that said literally she did a story with him yesterday and his family. And they're like at a museum and they're doing all this stuff. So, I mean, for him to be capable of doing a television interview and bringing his family and doing all this stuff, you got to think it was unexpected.
Yeah.
And it's just even worse.
I'm not seeing any cause.
Yeah, I don't know. But this week, I knew about this before I saw the news, so that's why the news really hit me so hard. This week is the 50th anniversary of the Immaculate Reception, the play against the Raiders, the deflection. It was Jack Tatum, I think, for the Raiders. Ping, ball's in the air. Franco catches it. They score a touchdown. They go to the Super Bowl. One of the most historic, maybe the most historic play in the history of the NFL. 50th anniversary. The Steelers were going to be wearing their 70s block numerals, Steelers uniforms, and they were retiring Franco Harris's number on Saturday.
That's crazy.
Which is why I'm surprised it took this long to retire Franco Harris's number for the Steelers. But to find out he passes away today and just 2 days short of his number retirement, bummer, man. But the way that Steelers family is, I have a feeling that all those guys from the 70s teams that are still alive are going to be out there. It's going to be an emotional moment. But I have a feeling they're going to pay tribute to him in a very, very respectful way. One of the classiest organizations in all of sports.
Last I saw him was a few years ago in that NFL 100 commercial.
Yeah.
When
that's right.
Yeah, they did that. They were like a ballroom party or something.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. But yeah, the Immaculate Reception, obviously, one of the cornerstone plays of NFL history. That was great. I was getting my son ready for daycare this morning. 6 months old, doesn't understand anything, was in a great mood this morning. And, I'm looking down at him and he's looking at me smiling, trying to chew on my face. I'm looking, yeah, that's cool, dude. Put your shirt on. It's a sad morning. I woke up to that. So I got out of the shower. My phone dinged and was like, Franco Harris, Immaculate Reception, 72, dies.
I know. And you got to think with that number of retirement, with it being the week of Christmas, he probably had all the family in town. I mean, it's just, heartbreaker, man.
It is brutal, man. I hated to see that this morning. That was not the only topic. I told my wife that happened. I was like, man. She was like, what? I was like, Franco Harris died this morning. She was like, oh, who's that?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I expected
that.
Sometimes
you're like, yeah, I gotta wait to see the boys. I'll tell.
I'll be sad at work.
Yeah, I can't properly express myself right now.
The other conversation that was had this morning, after that, she texted me as soon as I got to work, and she was like, you know what I've been saying wrong my whole life? I was like, what? And she sent it to me. I was like, I've been saying this wrong my whole life. I was like, have you been saying it? And she told me I've been saying it this way. I'm like, I've been saying it that way too. Who says it the other way? Nobody says it the other way. So I'm going to show everybody this picture. I'm going to turn the YouTube off on my phone here. Everybody look at this right here. See that? What is that? What would you call that?
I would call that a water spigot.
Now,
for everyone listening on the podcast, that was a picture of a spigot.
Enunciate. Like
spigot.
With a G.
With a G. Spigot.
You're a psychopath. Nobody says that. It's a spigot.
No.
Or a faucet. Either one.
Wrong.
No, it's a spigot. My wife was like,
no, it's not.
My wife was
weirdo.
like, I
Don't
say
look at
spigot.
me like I'm weird.
You are weird.
You're saying things wrong.
You are weird. My
Your
wife
life
says spigot.
is a lie.
Everybody in the office. When I got to you last, and you were like, it's spigot. Who says spigot? I turned around and was like, literally everybody I talked to on my way up to you had said spigot. One person said faucet. It's a spigot. I know.
I'm going to a hardware store website. Hardware store.
It's literally typed in hardware store website.
I typed in the words I was saying. Don't act like you've never done that, okay?
I know that's the official
Hardwarestore.com. You know how hard it is to get that domain? I imagine they've had that for a few years. And if they didn't, they paid a pretty penny to get hardwarestore.com. According to hardwarestore.com, it's a spigot, you weirdo.
Well, much like
You
yourself,
dingbat.
hardwarestore.com is full of a bunch of psychopaths. Nobody's called. I know that it's called a spigot, but nobody calls it that. It's called a spigot.
They say the first sign of true mania is denying obviously clear and visible facts. And the fact that you can look at hardwarestore.com's listing for a water spigot, S-P-I-G-O-T, and still say that that is somehow wrong is the definition.
I didn't say it was
of
wrong.
mania.
I did not say it was wrong. I said that obviously it's called that. That's what the name of it is. But you were the first person in my entire life. I'm 31 years old. You were the first person in my entire life that I've ever heard call it a spigot.
And on the flip side, you're the first person I've ever heard call it this made-up word you made.
Spigot?
Yeah.
Then obviously you've talked to nobody you work with downstairs because every
When in
single
the hell? When would I ever bring that up in conversation?
every
You're
single
the only one running around having conversations about water pipes and stuff. You
water
weirdo.
spigots.
Spigots. Say it right.
Everybody downstairs.
Look, you're wrong. Look,
Every single person downstairs
I
says
thought-
it that way.
Alabama was going to have a generational team. Okay, I thought that. I thought this to be true. And then I watched the football season and I realized I was wrong. Everything I believed was incorrect.
Mhm.
That's what you need to do right here. Okay. You lost the battle on water spigot.
I did not. I did
It's
not.
over. You lost. There's nowhere that calls it that.
According to the Dictionary of American Regional English, spigot is more common east of Mississippi, but the use of any version of spigot is most common in the Appalachians and the middle central Atlantic states. Psychopath.
Hardwarestore.com, and I only subscribe to the Funk and Wagnalls dictionary, not whatever sham of a book you just called out right there.
The Dictionary of American Regional English says that our area, it is more common to call it a spigot. So don't sit
You
there
ever
and
held a copy of the American
Hey, Ricky.
Dictionary for Regional Words or whatever you just said? The
Hey.
Derek Zoolander School for people who don't read good
Ricky,
and want to do other things well too?
at one point you thought Alabama was going to have the greatest team ever, and you realized at one point you were wrong.
I did.
At this point, there is a fact staring you in the face, much like that, and you're denying its existence right here. You're denying it when you are clearly wrong.
No, I mean, I'm not denying the fact that you say the wrong word.
Me and
that
everybody,
other people
everybody
say the wrong
east-
word.
you did deny it earlier. You said I was the only one you'd ever heard say it.
And you are the only person I've ever heard say it. And now I know that
Well, apparently
anyone-
you've never
is anyone
talked-
east of the Mississippi.
Apparently, you've never talked to anybody east of Mississippi.
Well, once again, can't say I'm drumming up a whole lot of small talk about spigots in my free time, but in the times that I have, those people used a G, like a majority of the English-speaking world, and like the foremost authority in spigots, hardwarestore.com.
I'm not denying that that's how it is spelled and how it is pronounced, but I've never, ever, ever heard anybody call it that. And now I know why I've never heard anybody call it that, because in my area, it is common to call it a spigot. So,
Okay,
yeah,
keep calling it that then, big guy.
I will, along with everybody else here. I will do that. It's a spigot.
If everybody else jumped off a bridge, would you do it too? Would you?
But I was already doing it. Like if I was already jumping off of a bridge and then everybody
I
else
already had
was,
that in my planner.
everybody else was doing it, yeah, I'd probably still do what I was already doing. Just be more, reassured to keep doing it.
Well, I think there's one thing we can all agree on.
What's that?
And that's that our military academies could very easily field a 4
No.
wide receiver based offense. Tell me we don't have speed
Give up
in
on
the
this.
slot?
It's
Give me a
never going to
break.
happen.
We can do it.
It's never going to happen.
We can do it. We can be the world police, but we can't run trips. We can't put 3 receivers to the left side. Come on, man. It's doable. We just got to get the right people in place. Is that a position that's assigned by the president? Because I feel like it should be. The athletic director for the military academies should be an appointed position, and it should be a very serious one that's paid a lot of money. And who would you if that was a position, who do you think should be the first ever athletic director for the military academies?
You have somebody in mind? George
No.
W. Bush.
Think about it. No, you can't have a president.
Why?
He's already been
He
president.
needs something else to do.
He's already been president. It would be a good choice.
Yeah.
He's already no.
I don't know.
What human could we put out there to be the athletic director for the military academies? Hire some OCs that run.
Hal Mummy.
No,
He will get the entire.
wrong.
He'll get
Wrong.
the entire
You
military.
just found another old system that works to a limit, and you replace it with another old system that works to a limit. Air raid's great.
They're going to be air raid certified.
Air raid going to get you.
Our military can be air
Our
raid
military
certified.
was air raid certified before Hal Mummy ever held a football. I'll tell you that much. All right, we were raiding the air a long time ago. I don't need Hal Mummy to print me off a certificate and tell me that Army can throw the ball around the park.
You're telling me that we, as a country, can have people in our military be responsible for taking down one of the most infamous terrorists the world has ever seen, but they can't run 4 verts?
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
How Mummy would run for 4 verts, but
Hal Mummy's a stolen valor. Call it something else, man. Air raid was created by Roger Staubach when he threw that Hail Mary.
Dude,
back in the day.
if our military academies were air raid certified, it's coming out of our tax dollars though. It's like $550 a piece.
We can't be doing that.
Our tax dollars are paying for that offense. Ooh, that's a good one to use. I like that.
We're air raid certified. We should get the trash pandas air raid certified. We make rockets here in town. We led the league in home runs 2 years ago. I still can't figure out who I would appoint to be our American athletic director of military resurgence in college football.
It's a good question. I don't know.
It'll come to me.
All right.
Sure as heck ain't Hal Mummy. Get out of here.
I'm just you wanted someone that was going to spread it out. That's what you wanted. Hal Mummy is the father of the air raid.
No.
Just in the step in the right direction. You said the first athletic director is going to take you in the right direction. And then you get someone who can go in there and Lincoln Riley the thing and turn it good.
How many trophies he ever win? Huh?
Hal Mummy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
How many natties he put up?
You know who throws the ball a lot? Who's had 3 Heisman Trophy winners? Lincoln Riley. Get him.
No, man. No, because then we'll make the playoff and we'll get beat by 40. I can't have that.
It's true.
I can't watch Army go in there and get stomped around.
That's a good point.
Yeah. John Cena.
I don't know. You'd never get anything done because you can't see him half the time.
That's what I want. I want a guy behind the scenes.
There you go.
I want him doing
That's
work.
your man.
I don't want to see him.
Then that's your man.
I want to see the spread. I want to see results. That's what I want to see. You can't see me. You see that. John Cena.
John Cena.
Athletic. It's John Cena, athletic director for your country.
For your country.
Yeah. Let's go.
Now
That's
I like
got
it.
legs, buddy. That should be a movie. That should be his next movie. John Cena is bringing prominence back. I don't know.
Ladies and gentlemen, now welcome to the field, your 2023 Army Black Knight.
Imagine today on National Signing Day, be like, hey, that guy ended up going to Oregon. Like, nah, dude, he flipped. He's going to the military. What? I've seen a flipped him, dude. I don't know how he did it, but he did.
Dude, if those NIL signing bonuses in the military were better, we could definitely field a big team.
It's out there. This can be done.
Think
Just
so?
need to do it. I think this country needs it.
Mm.
We need our military academies achieving greatness in sports once again.
I agree. Man, that'd be awesome.
I mean, even if we do it like, like corporate softball teams, when they get competitive and they want to beat the rival across town, so they hire a couple ringers to come in there. Like they don't really have a job with the company, but they used to play some ball. Yeah, so you put them on the payroll and you pay them essentially to just be your softball players. That's what we need. This NIL money, like we can't.
That reminded me of a commercial that is very funny. It's kind of the same premise with the baseball thing. Have you seen those commercials where it's like make the easy decisions and it's someone picking a team and they're like, you get the first pick and it's a bunch of elementary schoolers, and they're like, "I picked Charles Barkley." It's like, "Yes, I knew it." Have you seen the baseball one of that?
I don't know.
It's
I don't
like
think so.
it's like a company softball league or something, and it's like make the easy decision, and the guy's like, he's like, "We need a clutch hit." He's like, "Who do I want up to bat?" He goes, "Derek," and some random guy
Oh,
named
yeah.
Derek stands up and he goes, "Derek Jeter." Oh, my bad. And then Derek just kind of walks
It's gotta
by.
be tough to be the other Derek. Yeah.
I love that commercial. Derek Jeter.
Mr. Burns in The Simpsons, dude. You know, he hired Mike Scioscia, Steve Sachs, Ken Griffey Jr., Roger Clemens, Daryl Strawberry, and he signed him to the power plant, and they won the 91 softball league, you know, and it sent Homer to the bench. He was bummed, but
Yeah.
it got the job done, you know. It's going to send some of our existing starters to the bench, but it's for the country. It's for morale.
Let's get Kenny Powers in there.
That's not a real person.
Yeah, Danny McBride is basically he's become Kenny.
You want to
Powers.
hire a fictional character? That's crazy.
John Cena's a fictional character
John
who's
Cena
become him.
is a professional actor and former pro wrestler who portrays his real life on the screen.
John Cena is a character that the whatever John Cena's real name was before, he's become that guy. Just like Ric Flair. Ric Flair became Ric Flair. Ric Flair became Ric Flair.
John
That's a
Cena
character.
is a former NCAA football player. You look that up. You Google John Cena football.
So is
You're
Dwayne
gonna
"The Rock"
find it.
Johnson. He's also a character.
Yeah, but they didn't go by The Rock then. All right, he became The Rock. John Cena. You were talking me into a corner now, dude. You're making my John Cena pick look dumb. All right. How long have you hated America?
I still like the pick. I
Get
want
back on the boat, man.
Kenny
Come on,
Powers would
come
be
on.
authoritative.
It's a fictional. Come on.
So is
No, it's not.
It is.
It's more than that.
It is real. It's real to me, damn it.
Danny McBride is not really a baseball player. Okay.
All right, fine, fair enough.
Should we call it?
Yeah, today's my Friday, so I'm
getting
like,
feisty. I'm getting feisty, and I want greatness, and I know it's going to take time, but I want it now.
can we go back real quick back to National Signing Day real quick?
Yeah, sure.
And just kind of put a bow on that. Alabama's doing great. Auburn did a really nice job of turning things around today. But do you remember earlier this year, I can't remember the kid's name, but he was a recruit, I believe, in the state of Alabama, ended up going for Clemson. And there was a guy that covers Alabama, and then I guess some other people that kind of echoed the same sentiment that said Nick Saban's he's lost his touch with recruits. He's lost his touch. He can't relate to them anymore. Nick Saban can't relate to the young kids anymore. Have you checked the latest recruit rankings?
It's filthy.
have
Alabama's
you
bringing in
checked that?
absolute stuff.
Do you think Nick Saban can relate to the 6 5-stars or 7 5-stars that he signed today? Or
Yeah, it's
maybe?
it's real tough going from the age of 70 to 71. You really have a disconnect with the youth with that one. Give me a break.
that was I could not believe that was a thing going around. He lost one kid, chose another school over them. It's a high profile kid, I think, out of the state of Alabama that chose another school over them. They were like, well, and Nick Saban can't talk to kids anymore. He doesn't know how to do it. He signed like 6 or 7 5-star kids.
Same thing happened to my grandpa, dude. He had the youthful exuberance of a college kid when he was 70. He turned 71, and that guy was a crotchety old man, and I didn't know who I was looking at anymore.
And that stuff's real, though. When you flip to a certain decade or to a certain age, you immediately flip a switch, dude. I went from 29 to 30.
Oh, I felt that one.
I
too,
can't put pressure on my knee right now because
every 5 years I slightly get like worse at everything.
Yeah,
just slightly, but like all of it together.
What I went from 29, and when I hit 30, I started standing like a dad. Sorry, like
it hits you
hands on the hips, kind of bend back a little bit, just kind of
like you downloaded a new file overnight. You got the new update.
I
stand like this. I stand like this now with my hands all high up on the hips, borderline on my rib cage.
And before you start talking about something, you point at it for a few seconds while looking at who you're talking to and just making a face like you're like.
Mm-hmm. Hey, well, let's have some fun and be youthful, huh? Pops.
You see the trucks out there?
Okay. All right. Look, I've got, according to Action Network, the all names team for National Signing Day.
Oh,
I know you love these.
Oh, yes.
You ready for this? Don't look over here.
Okay.
Here we go. This is our all names team. This is offense, tight end, FIU. We were talking about this the other day. This is the team captain for me, Rowdy Beers. Rowdy Beers.
Where's he playing?
Florida International.
That's the kind of guy. A guy like Rowdy Beers is who you need on the Service Academy team. That's the guy who's going to lead you to a championship.
I agree. Maybe someday, if FIU plays well, he can move up a notch and he can transfer on over to Army and lead us to a natty. But until then, he's an FIU tight end. Rowdy Beers.
I figured out who I want as my athletic director for all of the military. Dude Person.
Let me get there. Okay, let me get there.
That's mine. That's my.
That's
A-team.
another guy that was
Is he
another
on a
football
defense?
player. He's not on this team, by the way.
What?
He didn't make the team. I know.
What an honorable mention list that is.
It's a great name.
Dude
Name your
Person?
Kid Dude Person. Like you really just we're like, I don't know. We don't know what this kid can do.
He watched whoever named that kid watched way too much Rick and Morty and first thing that came to their mind.
All right, here's the next name. Shatavius Hogan, wide receiver, Central Michigan. That's pretty good.
So
I like this one. Rhino Tapatutai, offensive tackle, Arizona.
I love when the first names are like crazy like that, because when you go back to Rowdy's a good name, but Beers, it's a last name. It's a family name, right? You put something in front of it that made it sound cool. But Rhino, you had a choice. You had literally every other name available.
As you see more like when we do stuff at like the ballpark and kids are involved in whatever, I meet them and I hear their names. I'm slowly figuring out that like people who have kids that like 20 and younger, we don't really like names anymore. So we're creating names. And this offensive team alone has 4 different animals.
Right.
So I just read you Rhino Tapatutai.
Mm-hmm.
Next up, Buffalo Cruz, offensive tackle, Texas San Antonio.
It's spelled with a K.
Next. Yeah, Buffalo Cruz, Kruize, followed by Tiger Bachmeyer, wide receiver, Stanford. Tiger Bachmeyer. Another guy, Daedron Zipperer.
Is Daedron the other? Is that a dinosaur? Is that the other animal?
I don't know what that is, but he's Daedron Zipperer,
which is a
funny last Zipperer.
That's a dinosaur. That's a carnivore. I'm pretty sure it's what that is.
Going to Alabama, we got Raquez McElderry. Yeah, we got him. Caden Sweat with 2 T's.
2 T's.
Caden Sweat. Offensive lineman, App State.
Caden, do you have a stutter? No, it's just my last name. Sweat.
Canyon Moses, cornerback, Arizona.
Whoa. Canyon Moses.
Cole Shrivers, cornerback, Northwestern. That's the name of a quarterback in like a movie or a TV show on the CW.
Mm-hmm. It's the rival guy.
Yeah. Oh,
complete jerkweed.
It's Cole Shrivers. He's number 1. He's all Metro. Yeah, something like that. And then rounding out the team at quarterback, Jax Leatherwood, which sounds like the cool guy, the quarterback for the good guys. You're like, yeah, we got Jax, man. Don't worry. And Jax's dad's like really mean to him.
Jax, how are you going to win the game? You broke both your arms and you have no fingers. And he finds a way to win it.
Yeah, my dad taught me how to throw with my feet.
I hold the laces with my teeth. And he ran the touchdown.
This movie's going to suck. All right. All right, now let's go to this is the second team.
Good.
Second team right here. This is offense and defense. My bad. The first one wasn't offense. That was just the first team. This is now the second team all signing day names list. Maverick Noonan, defensive end, Nebraska.
Noonan's a goofy last name.
I like this one. Jabril Rawls, cornerback, FSU. Really not even that crazy.
That sounds like off the Key and Peele.
That should have been Dude Person. Jabril Rawls, like
how is Dude
I think I went
Person?
to high school with the Jabril Rawls. Next one, Cole Cabana,
running
back, Michigan. It's a cool name. That's going to get an NIL deal.
Oh, 100%.
He's going to get some sunscreen.
They're going to play the Copacabana.
Rum. He's going to have a rum deal once he gets old enough. I like this one. Olawatosin Babalade, offensive tackle, South Carolina.
You have to at least do it like the East-West Bowl, because that's exactly what that name sounds like.
Olawatosin Babalade, offensive tackle, South Carolina.
You say Babalade, it looks like Babalade.
Yeah, that's
almost like a marmalade.
Uncultured, though. Yeah, it's Babalade. It's probably Lade.
No, it's Babalade. He drinks water out of a spigot.
All right, open up your American Regional Dictionary and see how the pronunciation should go on that one. Next up, Narondo Stoker, O-lineman, TCU. This one might be my favorite. Tight end, Northwestern, Chico Holt. Chico Holt sounds so cool.
Yeah, it does.
I want to be best friends with Chico Holt. So that's going. I play football. Oh, yeah, what's your name? Chico Holt. And I ain't
But,
going to practice today neither. Like Chico plays by his own rules immediately.
he looks like he sounds like he would have a paper thin mustache.
Chico's real cool. I don't know why I did that. I licked my finger and combed the edge of my eyebrow. I was like, Chico Holt. And I don't think I'm going to make it to practice later neither. Okay.
I don't know why Chico Holt started becoming Matthew McConaughey there for a second.
He just feels cool, man. Chico's cool. Hey, man, practice ain't my kind of thing, Coach. I think I'm going to go hang out at the student union and meet some ladies.
Oh, there's some good ones here.
Next up, Bo Hughley, offensive tackle, Georgia.
I like that one.
Jake Tarwater, tight end, Fresno State. What is that?
There's not going to be a single person on that roster tougher than Jake Tarwater.
He doesn't even wear cleats. He just plays barefoot.
We used to play football with rocks.
I used to eat them. Mama Tarwater make us a big old batch of rock soup. That's what made us tough. Next player, Stantavius Smith, D-line, South Florida.
I love the status quo nowadays is if you have a simple last name like Smith, your first name has to be outrageous.
So you gotta make up for it.
Stantavius
Smith.
4 syllables minimum. If you have a simple last name like Smith, 4 syllables minimum on the first name.
Not getting any more Joe Smiths like we used to have with the Timberwolves. Remember him?
Nah. Just straight up Stantavius.
Next name, Steele Wazzle, quarterback, Akron. I don't like that last name. And Steele has an E at the end. It would have been cooler if it was just Steele. Yeah. And final name, this one's awesome. This sounds like something that would be made up. Linebacker, Colorado, playing for Coach Prime, Victory Johnson. Which I think Coach Prime paid to change his name. I think his name was probably Jake Ferguson. And he said, look, dude, I need to make a splash. I'll get you an NIL deal from Coach's wallet. I'll give you $500,000 this year. You change your name to Victory Johnson. What do you say?
Victory Johnson.
We need you on the poster, Victory. And there you have it.
So I would like to – I think we could go workshop a few of those names, combine them, and make them sound better. Like there's one in particular. If we could combine the first and last name, if we could take Steele Wazel's last name,
Steele Tarwater.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going. Take Steele, but give him Tarwater. Steele Tarwater.
Hey, what's going on? My name's Chico Babalade.
Chico Rawls sounds good.
Chico Leatherwood.
Now he sounds like a Green Bay Packers legend from 1930.
Chico Leatherwood. He invented the forward pass.
Ooh, Rhino Tarwater.
There you go. Those are the names. All right.
Chico Beers would have been a good one.
Let's go grab some Chico Beers and call it a day.
There you go. Absolutely. So no show on Friday. We're out. I'm out, and I won't be back till Tuesday. So we won't have another podcast until next Wednesday. So
take a week, be with your family, come to the light show,
absolutely.
Eat some food, have a good time, and we'll reconvene in, say,
7 days?
6 days and 22 and a half hours.
There you go. That's good quick math. Nice.
Pretty smart.
And in the meantime, if you are like on a drive and you do like to listen to podcasts and stuff like that, you want to catch up on some of the ones you've missed from us, anywhere you get your podcast, wherever you're listening to this one right now, Trash Pandas Podcast Network.
It's uploaded just before 5 on the same day we record it. So if you're looking for something to listen to on the ride home, maybe you didn't get to see all of this, go download it. If you're already downloading, you're listening to it right now, tell your friends, hey, you should listen to these guys. They're not any good, but what else are you doing?
You want to? Are you Team Spigot? Go listen to the bullpen.
Yeah. Apologies in advance.
Come have fun with us. Again, since we started this podcast, we are starting to see an uptick in the downloads. So thank you guys. We really appreciate you listening and spreading the word. We'll continue to share some of the videos that we put up from the podcast. Again, have a wonderful Christmas. We will catch up with you and see how everything went, and recap our Christmases on Wednesday, and then send you off to the new year. So you guys have a great, great Christmas. Come check us out at the Christmas Light Show here at Toyota Field. In the meantime, I'm Tony Mack. That's Tricky Ricky. They're playing the music. They're sending us out of here. We'll see you next week.
There's not actually any music playing, but yeah.
I might be just having a stroke.